Welcome to the Happy Black Woman Podcast, the show for ambitious Black women who want it all. I'm your host, Rosetta Thurman, and my mission is to educate, inspire, and empower Black women all over the world to create amazing lives and successful businesses. As a mindset coach and business mentor, I teach you how to achieve your big goals faster than you ever thought possible. And if you're ready to transform your mindset, get out of your own way, and become the woman you know you were meant to be, you are definitely in the right place. Now let's get into the show. Hello and welcome to the Happy Black Woman Podcast. I am so excited to be back here with you. Happy New Year. It is 2019 and you know what that means. It is time for Manifest Your Vision. I am actually here recording this live on site with one of our amazing speakers this weekend, Miss Rhonda Ross.
Hello.
I'm literally sitting across the table from her. So this is my first time doing this, but I thought, what an incredible way to harness the energy of what is happening this weekend at Manifest Your Vision. There's so many of you who wish that you could be here, but I wanted to give you a little taste, a little flavor of what we are going to be talking about, because there are some really powerful topics, and Rhonda is going to help us kick off day one tomorrow in speaking about personal power. So for those of you who want to get access to the recordings of our event, make sure that you go to manifestyourvision.com and you can grab a virtual ticket so that you can listen to everything that you missed, because the content this weekend is next level. All right, so we're going to dive right into our talk for today, and I want to welcome Rhonda. And for those of you who may not know who Rhonda is, she has such an amazing legacy of entertainment. She's a singer, she's an actress, she's an entrepreneur, she is a beautiful, happy Black woman, she is a speaker, and she is such a dynamic inspiration. So Rhonda, can you just share a little bit about yourself with our Happy Black Woman tribe?
I certainly will. First of all, thank you for having me. Yes. Thank you for having me at this incredible weekend. Already the energy is so powerful and so positive. And the women, the tribe, and when I saw them, I said, you're my peeps. It's so good to be around like-minded people who are looking to improve their lives and build their lives and know that nothing is impossible, right? I mean, that is such a wonderful energy to be around. Yes. And so that you've pulled all of these people together for this is incredible. So yes. Thank you for that.
You so much
thank you for having me.
Yes.
I am a performing artist. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm an entrepreneur, and that's the answer I give people when they ask what I do. But what I really do is share my practices for personal power. I'm really power hungry, Rosetta. I didn't realize it until recently. I want to control my life. I feel like I have the right and the responsibility to create my life the way that I want it to be, and I'm able to do that. We are all able to do that, and in my case, because I'm also the daughter of Rhonda Ross and Gordy, in my case, there have been a lot of expectations. Yes. To what I should be or could be, and I've had to really realized that I had to take control of what I wanted my life to be outside of those expectations, and not to be limited by them.
Yeah.
And also being the daughter of such famous people and raised in fame and raised on the stage and around applause, it was very easy to get the lesson that somehow happiness came from that, right? That happiness comes from outside of myself, that it comes from fame, and it comes from spotlight, and it comes from money, and it comes from, those kinds of things. And so my work, I feel, and I think I've known this from a young girl, that my work was to figure out where I had my power and where I had control over the life that I wanted to live, over the way that I wanted to be, over the way that I wanted to create relationships in my life and friendships in my life, and the value I wanted to come out of my artistry.
Yes.
You know, what kind of artist did I want to be? What kind of human did I want to be? What kind of mother did I want to be?
Yeah.
And what kind of wife did I want to be? Like, who do I want to be? So I've been on this trek for a while, and it's funny because as I prepared for tomorrow's speech, I look back on a lot of things that interviews I've done and speeches I've made and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And I've been talking this stuff and working this stuff and practicing this in my life for years.
Yeah.
I mean, a good 20. Mm-hmm. A good 20 years.
Yeah.
It's really what my life is about. It's really what I do. I practice personal power every minute of every day. I'm always looking for it. I'm always figuring out where can I have some control over what is happening inside of me, my thoughts, my feelings, my reactions, my responses, my beliefs, my dreams.
Yeah.
Where am I giving away the control of those things and the power in those things to somebody else?
Yeah. I love what you said about that. There's so many women listening who would never think that when you come from a famous family and you may have, had access to a lot of different opportunities that people didn't have, like, oh, you don't deal with those types of things. You don't have those types of issues. You don't need to think about that or try to do that, but it's universal.
It's human. It's absolutely universal. This is the work that we all have to do, and the expectations could be that you have to break out of could be that you'll be nothing, right? Or the expectations could be that you'll be exactly like your parent, or that it could be any extreme. It could be any direction, but we all deal with it in one way or another. We all have to learn to have the power over ourselves and create the lives that we want.
Definitely.
And I've heard, I listen to your podcasts, and I've heard you speak of limiting beliefs, and how we all, doesn't matter what world you come from or what parentage you come from or how you were raised, we all have picked up limiting beliefs and beliefs that hold us back, that make us think that somehow we can't quite achieve what we want to achieve with our lives, and they're not true. They're not true. So that's what I do. As a singer-songwriter and as a speaker, they're really intertwined for me, really one and the same. I talk about this sort of thing. For instance, I have a song called "Nobody's Business," and the lyric is, ain't nobody's job to make you happy. Ain't nobody's job to pull you through. Ain't nobody born to give you sunshine that lights inside of you. Ain't nobody gonna seek your freedom. Your heart will see you through. You're the one to choose how you're feeling. Ain't nobody's business if you do. And so when I'm singing or when I'm speaking, it's all the same.
I love that. I love that. There are so many women who come to a point in their lives when they say, you know what, I'm tired of living my life this way. It's time to do me. It's time, it's the new year, new me, new thoughts, new beliefs. Was there a point in your journey when you looked around your life and you were like, this is not it? I want to do something different. Yeah. Was there something specific that happened or that you saw or that you heard? What happened for you where you were like, I'm going to do my own thing?
Yeah. Well, first of all, there wasn't just one. It wasn't just one time that I had that realization. I made the decision, and then everything was, downhill from there. It's a practice. There's a million times during my life, from a young girl and as recently as yesterday, where I'm like, oh, I'm doing this thing that I don't want to do anymore, right? I mean, that happens, but I have one story that I'd love to share. It involves a a well-known person, so I'm going to keep her name out of it, but let's call her Jane. But Jane was a singer, and not no one to do with Motown or any of that, but a singer in the 60s and 70s, and she still is today. She was a songwriter, and she's just pretty fabulous. And a friend of mine had said to me, Rhonda, you really should meet Jane. She's going to love what you do. She produces people these days. She's co-writing with people. I know she's going to love you. You are doing today what she was doing in the 70s. I know she's going to love you. And through another friend, I was able to get an e-meet with her via email, and I sent her my stuff, and we went back and forth, and she said, well, let's meet at my studio, and I said, I'd love that, and we did. She invited me in. She was so lovely, and then she looked at me and she said, well, I looked at all your footage, and I don't get it. And I said, I'm sorry, what was that? she said, I don't get it. You don't come across unique. You're not particularly interesting. Are you trying to compete with like real people out there making a living at this? Because this is not interesting to me. And it blew my mind. And it broke my heart. And I sat there thinking, I ain't gonna cry in front of this woman. Right. But I had this realization in the moment that she was giving me a gift. She was letting me know why I had been getting a certain reaction from people that I didn't understand. I was trying to get an agent at the time. I wasn't really getting an agent. I was trying to book myself into clubs. I wasn't really getting the right response that I wanted. And so she was actually giving me this kind of insight that... okay, I know I'm unique. I know I'm interesting, but something's being lost in translation, right? Something I'm doing or not doing is not allowing this bigger audience to see me the way that I really am, to see my authentic self, right? There's something that I'm hiding in the process. There's something that I'm obscuring in the process. So what is it? So I sat there and I kept probing her, and I said to her, I said, I appreciate you telling me this, because you didn't have to do that. You don't know me. You did not have to do that. And I asked her some more questions, whatever. Okay, so the meeting was over, and I left. I did go to the nearest Starbucks and went into the bathroom and cried. I did. I sobbed on the sink.
Right? You felt your feelings.
I had all my feelings. But by the time I got home, I was changed. I was changed because I said, she doesn't see me, why not? And I realized something that she couldn't have known, which was I was hiding myself. There was a piece of me that I was leaving out of the equation because of these expectations. Because in my mind, Diana Ross's daughter didn't sing that kind of music. Diana Ross's daughter doesn't dress like that. Diana Ross's daughter doesn't talk about these issues from the stage, right? Because my mother's footprint is so iconic and so fabulous, and she's amazing. And I always have said, there's only one Diana Ross, right? Anyone trying to copy Diana Ross is going to get their feelings hurt.
They're going to lose.
But guess what? There's only one Rhonda Ross,
exactly.
Too, right? So that was big for me. And when I tell you, that was only about 5 years ago. And I've been in this game for a long time. That was only about 5 years ago. And I realized in that moment, I was not being my authentic self, which is why she couldn't see it. And she was not the only one who couldn't see it. Right. And I changed it within, by the next day it was changed. By the next day it was changed. So that's there's others, but that's the one that pops in my mind when you ask that question.
That's so good. That's so good. A lot of times the pain in the moment ends up being a really beautiful gift.
It really does. It really does. And what was interesting is the people I told the story to in the moment said, Rhonda, it's not true. It's not true. She's wrong. She's wrong. And I said, no, she is wrong saying that I'm not unique. I know that I'm unique, but she's not wrong that she can't see it.
Right.
Right? And that matters, and that I can learn from.
Exactly.
That I can learn from.
Exactly.
And it was interesting because I was the one, everyone else around me was saying, oh, forget her.
Yes. And you're like, wait a minute, there's something here.
There's something here. There's life-changing somethings here.
Right. Yeah.
It was good.
I think right now you're speaking to the hearts of the women listening that have been hiding parts of themselves without maybe even realizing it. But over the years, I think a lot of times as Black women, we get rewarded for certain behaviors and certain things that we do and say and how we look. And then when we go to try to make changes, we make tiny changes. We don't make the full change to be ourselves because there is some underlying fear there of what will happen. So
that's exactly
what a beautiful story. And to see where you are now. Just living in your fullness. And of course, there's always more levels for us to go.
Yeah, there's always more.
It's like every year it's like, okay, let's shed another layer and show people more and more of me. So tell everyone, like, what does your life look like now?
Oh, well, I am married to an amazing man, Rodney Kendrick. He's a pianist. He's an incredible jazz pianist. And we write together and tour together. And we have a 9-year-old son who we homeschool and bring him along with us. And he's pretty phenomenal. So what my life looks like is it's full of art and family and love and travel. And that's what we do. You know, I have become clear in the last couple years that this is my work. The personal power work is my work. And I do it it infuses everything I do. So whether that be my parenting or my friendships or my music or my speaking. So I, with my family and sometimes on my own, go around the country and the world sharing that, whether that be through music or at events like this. And we have a lot of exciting things coming up for 2019. We got concerts all over the place, and speeches like this, and a movie coming up, which I'm excited about. I'm producing and starring in Protector of the Gods, it's called, which is an Afrofuturistic take on the female pharaohs of Egypt. It's a trilogy, 3 films. And so we'll be putting that together this year, and lots of good stuff.
So amazing. Yes. One of the reasons why I wanted you to come and speak to our audience, to our Happy Black Woman tribe here at Manifest Your Vision, is because you walk your talk. You walk the talk of this work of personal power and really being happy on your own terms. And there's evidence, what a beautiful life you've created, doing things on your terms and having a little boy that is getting, a sense of who he is too.
Yes,
and I just love that. I love that.
Thank you. Yes.
So you mentioned that you go around speaking. Yes. What kinds of groups do you speak to?
I speak to groups like this one. I speak to lots of different. So this one is, Black women our age, and that's exciting to me. But I speak to children. To anybody who's looking to be inspired, anybody who's looking to. I was going to say to upgrade. To figure out how to create the life that they want to live. So anybody who's looking for that, I'm looking for them.
Right. Yeah. So women's groups.
There's an organization called Girls World Expo that I'm in talks with to do some work with them this year. But women's groups, music groups, all kinds, young students,
young musicians.
Yes, all of that.
Yes,
all of that.
Yes, beautiful. So it has just been a pleasure having this time with you here today, and I know that we're going to have an incredible time with you this weekend.
Yes,
For those of you who aren't here, you are definitely missing out. Like I said, you can go to manifestyourvision.com and grab your virtual ticket. But for those who want to stay in touch with you, actually, if people want you to come and speak at their organization, how can they get in touch with you for that?
Yes, thank you. My website is therhondaross.com. So that is TheRhondaRoss.com. And everything is there, from my musical touring, as well as my speaking, as well as ways to get in touch with me, email addresses and all of that sort of thing. So anybody who's interested in having me for either music or speaking, they would find me there. My tours are updated there. Clips of what I do is there. Everything's there.
Yes.
And my social media is the same, the Rhonda Ross, and that's everywhere. So that's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TheRhondaRoss.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Simple.
Simple,
so if you
simple.
want to learn more about what Rhonda's up to for this year and book her for your next event, you can go to therhondaross.com and follow her on social media at the Rhonda Ross. If you're on the gram, she's there too. So it's just been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank
and
you.
we look forward to hearing you speak tomorrow.
Thank you, and congratulations on everything you're doing. It's such important work. We need it, and we are appreciative of you doing it, because you inspire us. You inspire us to be our best. The women I spoke to tonight were saying, I've started a business and I wouldn't have done that without Rosetta. And it's so really so wonderful, important, wonderful work.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, ladies, there you have it. Many thanks again to Rhonda Ross for being here with us on the podcast. And you can listen to previous episodes by going to happyblackwomanpodcast.com, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Happy Black Woman podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, there are 2 things you can do. Number 1, leave me a rating and review on iTunes. It would mean so much to me, and it would help so many more women find the show so they can be inspired as well. Number 2, join our private Facebook community where you can meet hundreds of like-minded women from around the world. To join the group, go to happyblackwomantribe.com. And until next time, remember, you can do anything you want with your life, and no one can stop you but you.